Hello guys, for this video I'm going to be Hanashtiru about Stellar Blade. I'm just going to give my thoughts on it. I'm going to talk about like various stuff, so gameplay, story, music, much more, and my general thoughts on the themes and how the game is also played. I hope you guys enjoy. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, that would really help, and let's get into it. Let's get straight into it quickly. Now, if you've experienced the story of Nier Automata, which was a pretty big game before, you'd be pretty much right at home with this, because it's similar. The story is about these like scary monsters called Natiba that have taken over the world, and as you progress you meet new characters, which the main ones are Adam and Lily. To be honest, they're fine. They're not worry characters necessarily, but because the game introduces quite a lot of complex, and then as you progress deeper into the Hanashi, more philosophical ideas, those two characters, Adam and Lily, even Eve to a certain extent, but mainly them two, don't get as much attention as I think they should have. Because some of the ideas they introduce into the overall story can be quite complex, like what it means to be human, how people may deal with their faith and some of that's potentially not sure how they envisioned it, coexistence with other species peacefully, etc. etc. The game overall tackled these points well, I think, but certain aspects could have been fleshed out more in the main story, mainly because the pacing can be kind of whack with the fleshing out the characters a bit, and not really for Nagaiji-kan to specific points. Like, I do feel that they should have gone side quests at least, because I think that would have been an easy way to give them more depth. I mean, if they didn't want to interfere with that main story or the pacing of the main story. The side missions in general, though, I thought were actually surprisingly really good. I was like genuinely shocked. Now, I'm not saying they're the best side quests in the sector or anything like that, but I did really enjoy listening to the problems of the people living in Zion, which is sort of the main place where people evacuate to at this point, and helping them out. Specifically, the three that you get the trophies for had some pretty interesting stories, and there were some pretty existential themes, I think, which helped give them pretty decent emotional points that I really appreciated. But even the other ones were depressing in a good way, and helps make you realize how harsh and deadly the world of Stelbit actually is, because the cycles actually have some pretty depressing things going on. Now, the gameplay is pretty top notch in my opinion. Like the title of the video, this game feels like the embodiment of counterplay. Similar to Sekiro, where like parries, dodges, counters, they're sort of the main components of the combat. The enemies and you yourself have a shield, so if you eventually break the shield, then it does more, you're able to do more damage. And then on top of that, if you keep parrying, then you can start using the bear skill, which you can see in the bottom right. And there's different types, so there's a slashing one that you saw previously where it's like a AoE kind of hit. And there's a punching one as well where you can just keep punching the enemy with the bear skill, and it does a lot of concentrated damage. So those skills are the rewards of you constantly parrying, so it rewards that counterplay in that aspect. And in terms of dodging, you can fill up the burst gauge, which allows you to do extra attacks on top of the bear attack, so the red stuff when you do a perfect dodge. Some of those attacks, such as the R1 square one, can move Taxan of the high diamond thing, so you can reduce their balance as well. So that on top of the parries makes it feel even more like just counterplay embodied. You also have a range gun that can be used to shoot enemy weak points to deal Taxan amount of damage, and the weapon has a variety of ammo types as well. So there's like a normal shooting one and then a charged shot that you can do. So you can use different ones as it's fit. The sound of the gun and the feedback of it as well, with how the haptic feedback, is very very satisfying, and it can actually be useful. But it's not super OP, so you can't just spam it forever, which I think helps keep it balanced alongside the actual like physical fighting stuff, so that you use everything. There's also a devil trigger style system where you just press L3 and R3 and just power up, and you can do a bunch of different attacks. It's quite powerful, and you don't take any health damage from it. You just take off the gauge when you get hit. So that's also very very useful in a pinch. So all of these skills that I've mentioned, all the moves that you can do, they can be upgraded in this skill tree, as you can see on screen. There's 5 different Hanchus, so there's different aspects that you can upgrade, and you need quite a lot of points, so you probably want to do some of the side quests at least if you want to get a bunch of the moves before you get to the end. Our only real complaint with the combat is that I do really wish we had another weapon with the Blood's Edge that you could switch with on the fly, you could combine combos with to create even more depth in the combat system. The sword itself does have different types of combos you can use depending on the bone combination, but it is just that singular weapon you use throughout the whole game. Now, Aishiru, that there's the bear and burst moves that I mentioned previously, but to me they felt more in line with sort of special moves than a weapon, with its own set of advantages, disadvantages, and combos. But that's just my opinion. I get that every game shouldn't be like DMC, but I love DMC a lot, so I just kind of want it in a decent amount of games, I guess. But outside of that, the combat was very, very difficult, and I had a great time engaging with it. Maybe not very difficult, but it was pretty engaging, so it wasn't just like a snooze fest. Apart from the gameplay, the music was the best part of the game by far. The ongaku you've been hearing in the background is from the game, and it's so good. Pretty much every track is a banger, from Star Descent, which introduces at the start, to other tracks later on in the game with certain bosses. The genres could range from just relaxed but bittersweet to sort of super intense or K-poppy. Like even just going down the Hypertube slide has such a banger track associated with it. Like what the hell? Even though I'm of the opinion that games in general are very good nowadays, so I think because of that you should try to spend your time, the free time, playing some more games if you want. If that's like your main hobby, I think you should try to make some time for that, because it's good to try and separate yourself from your work or whatever you're trying to do, just to relax and enjoy your life a bit more, enjoy the time that you have here. But yeah, as YouTubers like Jake Baldino from GameRanks would say, you just need to know what to look for those kind of games, because I know a lot of people complain about the industry games, like AAA ones. So I think it's more to just know where to look, because like those Hypertube style sections that I mentioned, they're not as common now as they used to be, at least from the top of my head. But yeah, they were so fun that I just like, I kind of missed those days before. I even missed the games that used to come out before. So I think it's good that games in the modern age, AA games like this, and bring those type of sections back and still make them as fun as they used to be. Some miscellaneous stuff I do want to mention is that the customization is actually pretty solid. You can change Eve's clothes, her megane, her hairstyle, and the colour of her hair as well. I went with the white shirt and jeans outfit for the most part because I thought it was one that looked the best. But there are some definitely degenerate outfits for you gooners out there. But it's a safe space, don't worry. I don't judge. I don't think anyone's going to judge if you bought this game. I don't think people are going to be judging you for it, apart from just weirdos that take games too seriously. So in conclusion, in summary, I really had a mecha Tanoshi time with Stellar Blade, even with its flaws, like with the characters not being as good as I think they should have been, or with there only being one main weapon, whereas I would have liked there to have been more. But still a great game. It felt like games from the PS3 days with just modern hardware and modern technology. So I would highly recommend it if you're looking for that kind of cake. And also remember, like I said, to do the side missions, because they are very good in their own right. They were very surprising, so do them. But on top of that, there is a true ending, and to get the true ending, you need to do at least a decent amount of the side quests till there's a gauge on the top right that fills up every now and then. And when that gets to 100%, then you got the true ending, or you're able to get the true ending after making a certain choice at the end. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. That will really help on the channel. And yeah, see you guys whenever. Take care and peace. Bye bye. Matane.